Well, Jake Paul is fighting on July 20th with or without Mike Tyson. What's up, it's Sam Walker here with Ringside Intel, and let's talk about this news, Jake Paul versus Mike Perry. We know Mike Tyson was supposed to fight Jake Paul this July 20th at Cowboy Stadium on Netflix. Obviously going to be a huge event. Mike Tyson has what's described as a medical emergency, found out it was ultimately an ulcer flare-up that now doctors have advised him to push things back. So now Jake Paul is going to take this big opportunity against Mike Tyson and move it on to November. But instead of waiting for that November date, Paul is deciding he's going to remain active, and he's picked none other than Mike Perry to face on July 20th. So let's break down some of the particulars about this new matchup. I mean, first off, the fight itself is moving from Cowboy Stadium in Arlington, Texas to Tampa, Florida, and it's no longer being carried by Netflix. This will be held on DAZN pay-per-view. I think the reasonings behind that are pretty obvious, right? Mike Tyson is one of the most famous people in the world, never mind just combat sports, but this is a global star and has been for decades. So of course his name is going to carry a lot of weight. Now Netflix, who is just getting into the combat sports business, keep in mind they're going to be airing WWE events next year as well. This is their first foray into combat sports, and this is going to be a live event, something that's also new for Netflix. For a company like Netflix that is so mainstream, that is so well known, and already has such a following, it makes sense for them to jump into boxing with a name like Mike Tyson, because that's a proven commodity as far as commercial success is concerned. And of course, Jake Paul being a huge social media influencer turned boxer. So when you put those two names together, it makes sense for Netflix to want to be involved. It also makes sense to want to hold that event in a venue the size of Cowboy Stadium, and also carries that prestige with it. And Mike Perry, despite his name carrying weight within the realm of combat sports, is a very small world that holds him in high regard. So a name like Mike Perry just doesn't ring the bell for a Netflix for Cowboy Stadium. Now, one aspect I do want to talk about is the statement that Jake Paul put out as this fight was announced. And I'm reading directly from his X account here. It says, and I quote, "1 mic, 2 mics, 3 mics, 4. The fact is every opponent has touched the floor. 5 months until Tyson and I go to war. So in the meantime, me and Perry are going to make Tampa roar. I fear no man, anytime, anywhere, any place. On July 20th is going to be another W, so let's say grace. For the BKFC champ, who will take a knee, then we go to Ireland and take McGregor's equity." Part-time rapper. I mean, he tried to throw some bars. Whatever. The most interesting part of that statement to me is the fact that he's sort of looking at Mike Perry as a tune-up. Now, from a business standpoint, yes, all right, he's going to fight Mike Perry in preparation to fight Mike Tyson. Okay, I get it there, because obviously one is bigger business than the other. But if we're talking about just from a competitive standpoint, that is so not the case. I mean, this is a dangerous idea of a tune-up fight. And we know tune-up fights take place all the time in boxing. These confidence builders, these ways for fighters to get different looks and get round experience before they start moving up to bigger challenges. This doesn't feel like it's anywhere in that direction. Mike Perry is, much closer in age to Jake Paul than Mike Tyson is. And come to think of it, at 32 years old, Mike Perry will be the youngest former MMA fighter to face Jake Paul. And then on top of that, he's actually relevant in the world of fights right now. I mean, this is someone who very recently was able to defeat some big names in the world of combat sports. I mean, Michael Venom Page, a new UFC signing who was a Bellator standout, he was able to defeat him in BKFC. We also have Eddie Alvarez, former UFC champ, and another former UFC champ in Luke Rockhold, who, by the way, is bigger than Mike Perry. So he is able to defeat guys who have some relevancy to the current standing of the fight world, making him an exceptionally dangerous idea for a tune-up fight. So what do you think? Does Mike Perry pull off the upset and absolutely ruin the guaranteed payday that Jake Paul has ahead in November against Mike Tyson? Or will this be business as usual? Remember to like, subscribe, share, tell a friend to tell a friend, tell that friend to tell 10 more friends. Stay locked into Ringside Intel. I'm Ant Walker. Peace.